Speed, when are you coming back to WWE? Bro, I'm coming back to WWE soon, bro. Don't worry, bro. WWE is coming back. Yo, WWE Speed's coming back very soon.
Welcome to the Tea Drop, where the brew is strong and there's lots to talk about. This was a streamer answering his chat, and the entire wrestling internet did what it always does. Speed talks about WWE. It booked the match for him. It wrote the promo. It already has him winning his next match, which could be at Money in the Bank. It's not in New York. It's going to be in New Orleans. So slow down, guys. We don't know what's going on. Today, we are separating 3 things the timeline loves to combine into one sentence. What if Speed does walk through the curtain? The shortest, loudest, and most clippable path still leads directly to none other than Logan Paul. Not simply because I'm saying so, but because WrestleMania already produced the first chapter back in April. And then because the World Cup final kept the light burning altogether. And because the anime internet handed them a personal insult that Speed will not let Logan cosplay his way out of. The streamer said he is coming back, right? WWE said nothing as of yet. It's not confirmed. But that gap is the tea that we're going to talk about. What Speed actually said, and we're going to see what holds. So let's lock in and discuss it. During a recent live stream, right? Chad asked Speed the question wrestling fans have repeated since WrestleMania 42. When are you coming back to WWE? Speed answered was carried by multiple outlets in the news once he said it. And here's the quote that he said. Bro, I'm coming back to WWE. Don't worry, bro. WWE is coming. WWE Speed is coming back very soon. Say it with me though, guys. Soon. Very soon. Not I signed, not I'm on Raw next week, not even me and Logan at a future event. Main event even. Trust me, bro. So soon. The word is doing a tremendous amount of work for a fandom that does not sometimes understands patience. Here's what does not hold when it comes to this. Obviously, he's just saying it. There's no date, no announcement, no contract graphics whatsoever, and nothing confirmed. If Triple H has a plan, it is not public as of yet. If Speed has a date saved in his phone, he did not read it during that live stream. What we have is a streamer who has already experienced the WWE's largest stage, WrestleMania. He's also experienced the Royal Rumble 2 years ago, but he aided a viral frog splash moment in WrestleMania 42, if you guys remember, and now says his WWE story isn't finished. Now that is news. It is not a booking sheet, and if you click because a thumbnail promise on the internet Speed versus Logan is official, take a breather. We are going to discuss Logan Paul heavily. We are going to explain why that rivalry practically writes itself. But we are not pretending WWE held a press conference, receipts over opium. This is the rule when we talk about this. Let's go first with WrestleMania 42. Now, if Speed returns, right, the shortest path to immediate heat is obviously not a mystery for anyone, because on April 18th of 2026 at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas at WrestleMania Night 1, they had a match. This was not a 10-second celebrity wave for the third row. This was a big runway moment for Speed. Speed entered with the Vision, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory. They had a big moment presentation, and they worked on the 6-man tag placed Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and IShowSpeed against LA Knight and the Usos. On paper, that is familiar WWE celebrity booking. Place the streamer besides experienced athletes, give him a few offensive moments, protect the finish, send the crowd home happy. But the real ending was not the pinfall at all. LA Knight and the Usos won the match, as you guys know, which was fine. It was a decent match, not the greatest off that whole night card for a long shot, but enough not for people to get pissed off about it, right? So then Logan Paul, as you guys see, changes the temperature by attacking his own partner. Logan Paul puts his hands on IShowSpeed, not a playful, manly, friendly shove. He literally punches him, he shoves and puts him outside of the arena. As you guys can see, he pretty much sets up the table against him, and it creates a new heat. This is framed like wrestling heat, the kind of post-match betrayal WWE cameras understand from the history. LA Knight and the Usos would pull Logan away eventually, though. If we go there we go. LA Knight and the Usos will pull Logan away. They save Speed, then Speed eventually will climb the top rope. As so as you can see right here, IShowSpeed climbs up to the top rope, gets the crowd excited, especially the social media crowd watching this. Look at the viral moment here. Look how many people have the cameras ready for this moment. And as he gets ready, IShowSpeed eventually hits the frog splash that drives Logan Paul through the announcer's table. Kabam! Look at that hit. Let the image sit. WWE got a major moment online because of this. They posted the footage. Mainstream sport outlets and wrestling media amplified it even further. Speed pushed the IShowSplash moment on his own social media because he understood exactly what he had created. That wasn't the farewell handshake that you would expect from friends from social media. It was a broken alliance on WWE's largest stage, with one of the internet's loudest personalities turning the Maverick into furniture. Afterwards, Logan Paul did what Logan Paul does best. He took the story to his social media account, his YouTube channel, Impulsive even. His initial position was that Speed had been a liability. Pull your weight. You cost us the match. Then came the walk back. Logan softened the position, accepted responsibility, and admitted that attacking Speed was wrong. You can consider Logan's podcast explanation. We should, but understand the hierarchy of evidence in this story. The table does not need a podcast. The table already spoke. So when the fans say if Speed returns, it has to be Logan, they are not creating the feud from nothing. They are reading the last chapter WWE already produced in Las Vegas. So chapter 1, Allies, chapter 1.5, the betrayal, and then chapter, I guess we can go closer, 1.75, maybe 1.9, the frog splash. Now, chapter 2 is not officially scheduled, but the spine of the story is already available in 4K, as you can see this. Now we move from Allegiant Stadium to the 2026 FIFA World Cup final, Spain versus Argentina, one of the largest sporting events on the planet. Cameras are going to be everywhere. Creators, content creators will be everywhere. An illegal concentration of ego is in the stadium. IShowSpeed runs into Logan Paul. For one moment, it appeared that the two internet giants who shared a WrestleMania match have decided to be friendly for the global audience. Then Logan begins walking away. Speed smiling, chaotic and clearly not finished, called after him saying, "You better leave before I kick your ass." Now, a lot of people covered this interaction. There's reels of this moment right here from IShowSpeed's live stream, and a lot of people reacting, maybe this is the next step for these two in the wrestling stage. Now, was it a worked exchange? Was it two content experts recognizing the camera and thinking intelligently how this can create more virality? Or was it real leftover heat wearing a joke as a jacket? People can debate the category all night when it comes to this. Here is what does not require a philosophy degree if you think about it. Two men who already created a WrestleMania angle encountered each other on the largest non-WWE stage of the year, the World Cup. And Speed kept the rivalry alive for the sake of the timeline, for the sake of WWE, and making sure he shows his worth. And because of this moment going crazy on the internet during and a little bit after the World Cup final, this could be a potential storyline WWE can put in their pocket for the near future. Now, if WWE wants a will they or won't they breadcrumb without placing either man on a weekly television show, interactions like this perform that work for the company for free. You don't need a contract. You don't need a moment on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown to create a promo. You just oxygen, if you think about it. And oxygen is how modern rivalries survive between wrestling WWE appearances. Now, besides this, let's talk about the One Piece fake fan war. So now we reach the part that may not be written on the WWE creative whiteboard, if you think about it, but it is exactly how a 2026 feud finds some additional gasoline if needed in the feud. Now, as you guys know, Speed is a serious One Piece fan, not a person that just, I watched 2 episodes for a moment to talk about it on the internet, or because I wanted to wear the cosplay and I needed to catch up on it. He has died on this hill seriously. And he is a big fan. To him, it helped him during COVID, during moments that he was mentally down or even emotionally down. So One Piece is a big for IShowSpeed. Or this happened during WrestleMania. Logan Paul decided to purchase some manga first editions, and he eventually would present it. But even around this time, there is a video about this on the Logan Paul's, his vlog. So let's take a look.
Holy shit. What's up your anime? Gotta put me on my favorite one. One Punch Man. One Punch? Oh god. No, come on. That's how you know you don't watch anime. No, come on. That's your favorite? Yeah, you don't watch anime. Tell you what, we win the match, and I'll consider. Oh, deal, man, deal. That's such a great deal. I'll consider. Let's go. Can we try it?
That was that. Let's move to the next piece. So, days after WrestleMania, Logan Paul presented himself online as the owner of some of the world's greatest manga collectibles, rated first chapters of original Japanese written manga, Dragon Ball, and One Piece. The reported valuation conversation reached roughly, I think, $550,000 for the Dragon Ball piece, with a 6-figure on the One Piece item besides it. It is peak Logan Paul, if you think about it. He buys the Grail, posts about the Grail, becomes the main character of That's So Grail. Speed did not congratulate him, though. If you ever see this post, Speed responded on X, basically saying, you don't know about One Piece. You don't know about you don't know crap about One Piece. And you know what? He has a point, because as you can see here, because he said he knew his favorite anime is One Punch Man, Speed already called him out saying you're not even a real anime fan, which some people on the internet will quickly say, well, he's a fake fan, which obviously he tries to react in a different way. Yo, man. Anyway, that is the fake fan accusation in one sentence. Ownership is not literacy. Logan followed with a full-on Luffy clothing, a private jet, and the first chapter in his hand. So apparently, besides buying the graded One Piece manga first edition, he also bought one that he can use to read. The problem is, as far as I know, I don't think Logan Paul knows Japanese. If you think about it, this is a Japanese manga with Japanese characters and literature written. I don't think he's right. Obviously, this is for clout. Now, after reading this, I'm not convinced the One Piece is real. The variable spine is simple. Logan buys the cathedral. Speed says Logan does not understand the scripture. Logan trolls the treasure itself. In wrestling terms, that is the perfect personal heat seasoning for a feud. Now, here's my fun interpretation for when it comes to these two, not a WWE leak. Now, if Speed returns, the Logan program does not need to be only you cost me WrestleMania Speed. It can become you use me for a WrestleMania reaction. You can also say you attacked me when the lights were the brightest, or you can even go with then you cosplay my anime for content, money, and clout. That could be Speed's side of things. Now, that is generational internet beef if you can think about it. It is understandable in 12 seconds if that's the basic thing. It's very open and interpretive for anyone to follow through with this story. Not complicated at all. people will be engaged very easily when it comes to this. Now, WWE may never say the words One Piece on Raw. It does not need to. They can go very creative in the dialogue and people will know what they're talking about. The internet already wrote the promo for them. The booker only needs to avoid getting in the way. Now, if Speed returns and Logan is waiting, which one is it? Cameo versus a real program? Let's think about that. Let's separate the product from the dopamine when it comes to this. What does a celebrity cameo look like? One night, one entrance, one protected spot. Maybe a selfie, maybe then back to the streaming on the next Tuesday if it was done on Monday. Now, what has Speed already done that goes beyond a basic cameo? A multi-week runway into WrestleMania. He did a few promos. He did an in-ring work involving Logan Paul, Austin Theory, LA Knight, and the Usos. A post-match angle that changed the alliance on WWE's largest stage, and a viral move that WWE promoted through its official channels, and a second public collision with Logan at the World Cup that still felt like wrestling. That is unfinished business even if WWE has not scheduled the business. What would a real program look like or require next? Well, a little television time, a clear alignment, some real promos, a stipulation people can repeat, and WWE confirming the program with a graphic that you will always get when it comes to these matches, not Speed telling that it will happen soon. Now, a few things exist when it comes to this thing to create the story. Like I said, the first one is the wrestling fallout at WrestleMania, which exists. We have the World Cup interaction, social media hostility, which is part of the feud. And then we need some company confirmation. That's the only missing part. Right now, we have two things that can make this story go, but we need the last one, which is the most important one, which is WWE giving the trigger to go. Now, we do not have that yet. So when the timeline screens Speed versus Logan is booked, translated accurately, it remains chat bait until the company speaks. The highest ceiling story of the week? Yeah, for the most part, at least for non-heavy wrestling fans, for the casual wrestling fan, this might be a big story for them. Now, a confirmed feud announcement? Not as of yet. The smoke is the broken table in Las Vegas. The smoke is their World Cup threat wrapped in a laugh. The smoke is you don't know anything about anime, or more specifically, One Piece. The smoke is I'm coming back very soon. The fire is a contract, a date, and a bell. Until you see fire, enjoy the smoke for now, but do not move into it. So here's where we leave the story. IShowSpeed said quietly during his live stream, WWE Speed is coming back very soon, and multiple outlets carried it, but we still have WWE to confirm it. Now, if Speed does walk through the curtain, the most logical first collision is with the man he already stood beside beneath the Vision banner. The man who attacked him after the match, the man he drove through furniture at WrestleMania. Let's not forget also Logan Paul was the man that forced Speed to be involved in this match when in reality he didn't want to be. He had no choice. He got pushed into altercations he didn't manufacture. It was all Logan Paul at the end of the day. So let's not forget that part that led to that WrestleMania match. Now, the man he encountered at the World Cup final with a threat wrapped inside a laugh from Logan Paul. And the man he called a fake One Piece fan when the graded manga hit the X timeline. Logan Paul, at the end of the day, is his biggest threat. A real program with television time and stakes, or engagement bait with better production value than most rivalries? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And as always, if the tea hit right, hit the like button and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.